Are you getting the best out of your effects? You could be leaving some totally unique tones on the table if you are not experimenting with your effects chain. In today's video, we're going to be taking some of those universal truths behind effects order, and we're going to be challenging them. You are here with me, Budge, today, and in my time I have played a lot of effects. In fact, over on my own channel there are over 200 videos of individual guitar effects that I have demoed. And over that time I have learned a lot about effects order. According to the godfather of guitar tone, Robert Keeley, this is the correct guitar effects order. And of course there is sound logic to these choices. For example, having reverb at the end of your chain emulates the space that it sits in, so you'll want that to be as clean as possible. However, today we're going to be questioning a number of these and seeing if there are some awesome and unique tones that are being missed out on. Before we get into the playing today, I urge you to listen to this through headphones. No, your phone speaker will not do these guitar tones justice. There, I said it. A staple of the 80s guitar tone, it is almost universally understood that chorus goes after any drive. But let's hear what it sounds like before and after. Chorus before gives a crunchy and warm feeling to the effect. It ends up giving the chorus a really grungy and lo-fi tone. The character of the chorus isn't the star of the show in this instance and is more like the cherry on the cake. When you put chorus after the drive, it gives a load more harmonic information. The natural overtones sing out more and you get a beautiful shimmer to your tone. Neither way sounds bad, but you get two markedly different tones. Phaser before a mid-focused crunchy guitar tone was the sound of 70s rock. When I hear the sound of a phaser used in this way, it reminds me of the classic tones of Thin Lizzy. Phaser before drive gives a nice even sound to the guitar tone, but adds a little bit of movement. It almost feels like you've pushed up the drive on your tone without actually adding any more gain. Phaser after drive, conversely, almost adds a nasal quality to the tone, a bit like a wah pedal. The pick attack gets a little bit more crispy too, and like the chorus, you add overtones into the mix. We could end the video there and the experiment would have been worth it, but there are more effects that I want to show you. We absolutely had to include an Eddie inspired track for the Flanger example. He is so synonymous with the Flanger that it wouldn't have been right not to. Eddie ran his MXR Flanger into the effects loop of his amp like he did with most of his effects. So if you wanted to nail those aeroplane flangy tones of Van Halen, you have to do exactly that. If you run the flange into the dirt, those metallic overtones get squished and you get a much more subtle tone. A lot of people really complain about how much flange takes over your tone, and this could be a great way of taming that. Next up is an effect that you won't want to miss, because it is an effect that so many people misunderstand. It is a shared consensus amongst guitar players, including Robert Keeley, that compressor goes before drive. Compressor at the start of your chain smoothens out pick attack and evens dynamics, which leaves a really consistent sound going into your effects. Funk guitarists use it to great effect to smoothen out choppy rhythmic playing. When you put comp after drive, however, you get an additional layer of tonal shaping. In this example, you can hear how the harshness of the drive gets totally smoothened out by the compressor. The tonal character of the compressor comes into play more, and not only do you get even pick dynamics, but you get a lot more focused tone overall. Whilst this can be a great trick, I have a word of warning. Using a compressor in this way will bring up the noise floor. It is best to use this trick with lighter gain settings or drive pedals that have got a naturally lower noise floor. Now, this next example might wildly divide opinion. This one is inspired by an article that I read many years ago about the Biffy Clyro frontman Simon Neil. In this article, it was said that he run 2 boss metal zones in his rig. One near the start for his drive tone and one right at the end of his rig. Now, this might be the most outlandish bending of the rules that we have done today, but it is not without its charm. We all know the sound of reverb at the end of a chain. It adds warmth and space to the tone and often thickens it up too, especially for single coils. This is there to emulate tone within a space, and it adds a weight to your tone too. When running drive after reverb, however, you end up with a blanket of sound. It saps away a lot of the note definition, but it gives you a wall of pure sonic power. It definitely isn't your middle of the road guitar tone, but I can see this sound being really utilised in noise projects and maybe even stoner doom stuff. It is a tone that certainly isn't for everyone, but there will be some of you out there who listen to that sound example and go, hell yeah. We've got the same word of warning as with the compressors on this one too. You will need to be cautious with the amount of gain that you use. If you use too much, the blanket effect will overtake your tone and you'll get lost quicker than a big muff in a mix. Experimenting with your effects order can lead to some really unique tones, but if you have not tried stacking gain, you might be missing out on some of the best tones out there. In this video, I show you the best way of stacking fuzz and overdrive pedals together. Click on the link to take your tone even further. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon.